Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Golden Jolene. Welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be a quick review on the Becca Apres Ski Glow Face Palette. And I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. So this palette came out a while ago. I think it came out like last September or October. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I only bought this because of this shade right here, that Icicle shade. That is a highlighter that is unique to this palette. I don't think you can get it separately, I believe. And I'm pretty sure this was a limited edition palette, but it doesn't look like it's currently being sold by Becca or Sephora anymore, or Ulta. I'm pretty sure this was available at Ulta as well. This palette comes in this beautiful box. It kind of looks like a winter wonderland type of theme, and that is what the palette itself looks like as well. And I don't know how I feel about packaging like this because it gets dirty really easily, but I still think it's very pleasing and it looks pretty expensive. There's a huge mirror in this. You have 6 shades. You have 1 bronzer, 2 blushes, and 3 highlighters. This color right here counts as a blush, which I think looks like a very shimmery bronzer, but I actually tend to mix it with some of the other highlighter shades. So this bronzer right here is called Bronze Bondi, and I actually really like that bronzer. I used it today. I think it's very, very nice. It's not too warm. I can't use it to contour though because I will look orange, but I think it is the perfect bronzer, at least for my skin tone. It blends out beautifully. It has a very slight shimmer in it, but you can barely see it on the skin. It almost shows up matte. And now the next shade is this one right here, Winter Berry, and that is one of the blushes in this palette, and I use this blush and I love it. I actually like to mix it with one of the highlighters in this called Rose Quartz, which is this color right here. When I want to use Rose Quartz, I don't reach for this palette, I reach for the full size that I have, which is why I like to mix that one with the blush. And these two apply beautifully as well. The blush is kind of like the bronzer. It looks very matte, but it has like the tiniest little shimmers in there. You can barely tell by looking at the pan, but there's definitely some small shimmers in there. But for the most part, it is matte. Rose Quartz is a very nice, buttery highlighter. I do have to say that the formula is slightly different in the face palettes. For the shimmering skin perfectors, the blushes, and the bronzers for Becca, they do tend to have a smoother formula in the full sizes, but that's just because they have to press it a little bit firmer in the palettes. I don't really mind it. They're still very blinding, still very pigmented and nice. Now, Icicle is the highlighter that I put on today, and I did think it looked a little bit too blue for the look I have going on, so I actually tried to tone down that blue with the Opal shade. And I do not have the full size of Opal, I just have a mini version of Opal, which was another reason why I wanted this palette, so I could have more of the shade Opal. Opal is one of my favorite shades in the Shimmering Skin Perfector line. Last but not least, we have the shade Blushed Copper, which is the other blush in this palette. And I think this is beautiful. I haven't used it as a blush yet, but I've used it to mix it with Icicle, and I think it's very beautiful to mix with other highlights as long as you use a light hand. That is the only color in this palette that I have not played around with. I haven't used it as a blush, but I have used it as a highlighter. Like I said, I mix it in. But yeah, I need to play around with that shade so I can use it as a blush. But I've used the other 5 shades in this palette, and I do have to say I love this palette. This palette cost, I think, $54. Each Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector cost $38. I think the blushes and the bronzers cost the same too. Actually, some of the blushes cost $32 and some of the blushes cost $34. The bronzers also cost $38. So I think for $54, getting 6 shades in this, and they're not too small, they're pretty decent. I think they're around the same size as the Light Chaser highlighters, and I just think this palette is a really good deal. Unfortunately, I don't think you can get this palette online anymore because, like I said, it's limited edition, but if you are able to get this palette in stores, sometimes Sephora's do have limited edition items, even if they're not listed on the website. So, if you can find this palette, I suggest you go get it. Bottom line is, this is one of my favorite palettes, and I think if you can still get your hands on it, then I think you should before it goes away. That's it for this little review. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!